Play it again.
I want it.
The Allies are calling it chronosphere technology. My sources tell me it is done with extremely high energy signals.
I want it.
Comrade, how?
I am surrounded by idiots. Do whatever it takes. Steal it. Take it from them. Nadia, tell your spies I want detailed plans. If Grodenko had not allowed Einstein to slip through our fingers, that weapon would be ours now.
Comrade, we do have a lead. An Allied base outside SETI is sending out very strong energy signals. I believe this is where the chronosphere hides. There are 3 separate control centers we've identified there.
Take control of all 3. Do not allow them to destroy that which is rightfully ours. General?
Reinforcements have arrived.
Yes, sir. Waiting affirmative. Affirmative. Waiting affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Comrade. Yes, sir.
Unit
Reporting.
lost.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Reporting. Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Reporting. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, affirmative. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes,
Lost.
sir. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Waiting orders. Affirmative. Very well. Reporting. Yes, sir. Very well. Yes, sir. Of course. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Agreed. At once. Of course. Of course.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Of course.
Unit
Yes, sir.
lost.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Once.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Very well. Report. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle report. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Very well.
Unit lost.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. 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 Awaiting orders. Very well. At once. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Waiting order. Affirmative. Ready and waiting. Yes, sir. Reporting. Acknowledged. Comrade. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged.
deploy.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Reconstruction options.
Report.
Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Construction complete. New construction options. Building.
Comrade. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Construction complete. New construction options.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building. Construction complete. Building. Construction complete. New construction options. Building. Construction complete. Building. Construction complete. Building.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Construction complete. New construction options. Building. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Construction complete. Building. Construction complete. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir.
Insufficient
Acknowledged.
funds. Construction complete. Unit ready. Building.
Vehicle report. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Vehicle report. Acknowledged.
Construction complete. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Base
Affirmative.
is under attack.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Prepare. Preparing.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Reporting. Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready. Construction
Acknowledged.
complete.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
New construction options. Building.
Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Construction complete.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Building. Building.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Construction complete. New construction options. Building.
Vehicle acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Building. Construction complete. is under attack.
Yes, sir.
Building.
Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
ready.
Vehicle acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Construction complete. New construction
Reporting.
options.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Building. Repairing. Construction complete. Unit ready. Building. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
Repairing. Unit repaired. Construction complete. Training. Repairing. Insufficient funds. Repairing. Unit ready. Training. Unit ready. Building. Unit repaired.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. New construction options. Building.
Vehicle report. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Construction complete. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Acknowledged.
Building. Spy plane
Acknowledged.
ready.
Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Awaiting orders. Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit
Awaiting
ready.
orders.
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Building.
Comrade. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Waiting order. Affirmative.
Building. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Insufficient
Yes, sir.
funds.
Acknowledged.
Construction complete. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit
Awaiting
ready.
orders. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit
Yes,
ready.
sir. Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
lost.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Reporting. Yes, sir. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Vehicle report. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Comrade, acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Report. Affirmative. Affirmative. Waiting order. Affirmative.
Building. Unit ready. Building.
Report. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Construction complete.
Waiting order. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Ready and waiting.
Unit
Reporting.
lost.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Silos needed.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Reporting.
Building.
Acknowledged.
Silos needed.
Acknowledged.
Construction complete.
Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Silos needed.
Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged.
Silence.
Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Report. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Building. Building.
Yes, affirmative.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged.
Construction
Affirmative.
complete.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building. 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 Building.
Yes, sir.
On
Acknowledged.
hold. Cancel.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Waiting affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Vehicle acknowledged.
Construction
acknowledged.
complete.
Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged.
Building. Construction complete. Unit ready. Building. Building. Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Construction complete. Building.
Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building. Unit ready.
Reporting. Reporting. Affirmative.
Insufficient funds.
Vehicle reporting.
Construction complete. Building.
Comrade. Acknowledged. Comrade. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Awaiting orders. Reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit lost. Building.
Waiting order. Comrade. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Building.
Waiting order.
Insufficient
Acknowledged.
funds. Repairing. Unit repaired.
Reporting. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Building. Unit
Reporting.
ready. Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Repairing. Building. Insufficient funds.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative, comrade.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready. Building. Repairing. Insufficient funds.
Vehicle reformative.
Unit ready.
Yes,
Building.
sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Insufficient funds.
Waiting order.
Unit lost.
Waiting order.
Unit lost. Unit ready. Building. On hold. Cancel.
Comrade, acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Repairing. Unit repaired.
Yes, affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Waiting order. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Comrade. Vehicle reporting.
Repairing. Unit repaired.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building. Building.
Report. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged.
Insufficient funds.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting.
Unit ready. Building. Unit ready. Building.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Comrade. Yes, vehicle reporting. Yes, sir.
Unit ready. Building.
Waiting order. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Waiting
Yes, sir.
order.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready. Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Training.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Training.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Training.
Acknowledged.
Insufficient funds.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Engineering.
Training.
Yes. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Training.
Yes. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Waiting order. Affirmative.
Engineering. Affirmative. Engineering. Affirmative. Yes. Affirmative.
New construction options.
Engineering.
Vehicle reporting.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Training.
Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Waiting affirmative. Comrade. Acknowledged.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready. Building.
Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Waiting acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Engineering. Affirmative. Engineering. Affirmative.
Comrade. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building. New construction options. Building.
Yes, affirmative. Acknowledged.
Insufficient funds.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Repairing.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Comrade. Reporting.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Vehicle
Affirmative.
reporting.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Ready and affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Insufficient funds. Unit lost.
Yes, sir.
Repairing.
Acknowledged.
Unit repaired.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Insufficient funds.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Engineering. Yes, affirmative.
Awaiting orders.
Structure
Awaiting orders.
repairing. Insufficient funds. Repairing.
Yes, sir.
On hold.
Affirmative.
Cancel.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Insufficient funds. Unit sold.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Acknowledged.
sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders.
Reporting.
Unit
Yes,
sold.
affirmative. Comrade.
Unit sold. Unit ready. Building.
Awaiting orders.
Repairing. Unit sold. Unit ready. Building.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Building.
Comrade, affirmative.
Yes, sir. Reporting. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting.
Insufficient
Yes, sir.
funds.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Waiting affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative.
Vehicle report. Affirmative.
Unit sold. Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Vehicle report. Acknowledged.
Waiting order. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Comrade, acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Comrade, affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Report. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Waiting affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Reporting.
Lost.
Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Yes, reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Insufficient
Affirmative.
funds.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Waiting affirmative. Yes, sir. Waiting affirmative. Comrade, affirmative. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Report affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged.
Insufficient funds.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Waiting
Yes, sir.
orders. Waiting order. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Waiting orders. Waiting acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Awaiting orders. Report affirmative. Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Affirmative. Waiting acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged.
Insufficient funds.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Engineering. Affirmative. Yes, affirmative. Engineering. Affirmative. Affirmative. Engineering. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Engineering. Affirmative.
Low power. Mission accomplished.